November 26, 1930, on that very day, a mysterious headline on the front page of the Journal newspaper caught everyone's attention. The headline read, "The Vanishing Village." This strange report sent shockwaves not only through northern Canada, but across the entire country. According to the article, an entire tribe had suddenly disappeared in a single terrifying night, without a single trace left behind, as if the earth had swallowed them whole or the wind had carried them away. Welcome, viewers. In the icy, desolate northern region of Canada lies a remote lake known as Anjikuni Lake. Along its frozen shores once stood a small settlement where around 1 to 1,500 Inuit, Eskimo, people lived. They survived mainly by fishing, and their lives depended entirely on this lake. This land was so barren and cold that across hundreds of thousands of square kilometers, only a few thousand souls struggled to survive. Life here meant endurance, silence, and snow. During that season, fishing in Anjikuni Lake was considered ideal. Hunters from nearby areas often came here, caught fish, and then returned home. Around this time, a well-known fur trapper named Joe LaBelle arrived in the area. It was a freezing evening in 1930. Joe became so engrossed in his hunt that he didn't realize night had fallen. He decided to spend the night at the nearby Inuit village by the lake, a community known for its hospitality. He packed up his gear, slung his rifle over his shoulder, and began walking toward the village under the moonlit sky. But as he got closer, an eerie silence surrounded him. No voices, no shadows of life, only the crunch of his boots echoing across the frozen ground. Joe quickened his pace, thinking perhaps everyone was asleep. In the distance, he noticed smoke rising near a well, as if someone had just lit a fire. But when he got closer, what he saw froze him to his core. The entire village was deserted, no people, no animals. Yet, a few of the hearths were still burning faintly, sending thin trails of smoke into the cold air. Joe stepped inside one hut after another, each one silent, each one scattered with unfinished work and abandoned belongings. Pots still sat on stoves, their food burnt to a crisp, as if dinner had been prepared but never eaten. Pieces of clothing lay half sewn, needles still stuck in the fabric. It was as if time itself had suddenly stopped. A chill ran down Joe LaBelle's spine. It felt as though the people of this village had vanished in an instant, taken by some mysterious force, leaving behind only silence, smoke, and the biting northern wind. Joe LaBelle was still in shock, trying to understand where the people of the village had gone. He searched every corner of the settlement. There, he saw the dogs that the tribe had kept, their necks still tied with ropes. But all of them were dead from hunger. The most disturbing part was that food lay right in front of them, untouched. No one had been there to feed them. The sight was heartbreaking. As Joe moved further, his eyes fell upon a freshly dug grave. The soil was still damp, as if it had been made recently. Seeing it sent a wave of fear through his body. The howling of the cold wind in the silent night made the atmosphere even more terrifying. Joe remembered that the people of this region always took their dogs with them wherever they went. But now, everything was left behind. The dogs, the clothes, the food, even the fires that had been burning were left to die out on their own. Everything indicated that something unusual had happened. Something that had forced the entire tribe to leave suddenly. Joe couldn't stay there any longer. He immediately left the area and rushed to the nearest telegraph office to contact the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. There, he reported everything he had seen in full detail. The police acted quickly and reached the scene. Upon arrival, they found that everything Joe LaBelle had described was true. Their first thought was that perhaps someone had attacked the village and killed everyone. But if that had been the case, there would have been bloodstains or bodies. Yet there were none. Only scattered belongings and an unsettling emptiness remained. The police immediately launched a search operation to find the missing villagers. But as they examined the snow more closely, they discovered something even more mysterious. The entire area was covered in fresh, untouched snow. Yet there were no footprints anywhere. Only one set of tracks existed, and they belonged to Joe LaBelle himself. This meant that no one else had entered or left the village. The villagers' boats, which were usually kept on the water during this season for hunting and fishing, were all pulled up onto the shore. If they had escaped across the lake, there would have been cracks or marks in the ice. But the surface was perfectly smooth. Further investigation by the police revealed that the tribe had been there as recently as 10 days before. The dogs had likely died after a day or two of starvation, meaning they had been left behind only recently. The smoke still rising from the huts also suggested that the village hadn't been abandoned long ago. Everything pointed to the same chilling conclusion. The people had fled suddenly, without preparation, driven by an unknown fear. The RCMP worked on the case for months, but no trace of the missing tribe was ever found. In the end, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police officially declared the case unsolved. And thus, one of Canada's most mysterious stories was quietly buried in silence. After this strange incident, the authorities ordered that the Anjikuni Lake region be completely closed off, sealed forever. As the years passed, people slowly began to forget this terrifying mystery. Then, nearly 50 years later, in 1984, two well-known writers, Roger Bohr and Nigel Blundell, wrote an article in which they described the entire mysterious event in great detail. In their research, they mentioned that when they visited the Anjikuni Lake area, they met a hunter who claimed that he had personally seen some strange flying objects in the sky. According to him, these objects did not look like any normal airplanes or birds. They appeared to be something from another world. The mysterious objects were moving directly toward the same area where the Inuit, Eskimo tribe had once lived. Based on this account, Roger and Nigel suggested in their article that perhaps on that night, some alien beings had landed on Earth and taken the entire tribe with them. However, there was no solid evidence to support this claim. Because of that, most people dismissed their story as pure fiction. As time went on, many different versions of the story began to spread. Some said the tribe had migrated to another region. Others believed they had fallen victim to a natural disaster, and some were convinced that beings from the sky had indeed taken them away. But what the real truth was, no one has ever been able to uncover. Decades have now passed since the disappearance of the Inuit tribe, yet the mystery remains unsolved. Even today, Anjikuni Lake lies silently beneath layers of snow and ice, as if guarding the secret of that night when an entire tribe vanished without a trace. And that is the very question that still echoes in people's minds. Where did they all go? How did the entire Inuit tribe suddenly disappear? This incident remains one of the most mysterious unsolved cases in history. I hope you enjoyed this story from the winning mind. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and share it.